Just saw the Sim AI video. I'm transcribing this call. Oh, wait, how did two messages get merged there, Manny? That is so confusing. I'm guessing you were trying to say you watched Julian do the Sim AI live stream that he did?
Hi, afternoon.
Afternoon, man.
I don't know what's going on. Something's in the background just working doubly. Yeah. Well, the actual video what he posted on, blimey, right? You've got N8N. Now this has come up. Is what do you do? This is just taking the P.
I was actually looking forward to having a discussion about this on today's call. Just really quickly, welcome, Christopher. Hope you're good. Manny, to be honest with you, I also tested Sim AI as well, and I pushed Julian to also do another test live outside of just the digital avatar video. Because with the digital avatar video, you don't really expose some of the weaknesses. It's more so like a preview of what the tool is, what the tool can do, and stuff like this. So Julian actually did a live stream a couple of hours ago, maybe an hour or two ago, where he went through, so basically he tried to use Sim AI to create realistic workflows on the spot. Hi, Arnett, welcome. And one thing I can tell you, Manny, is there are glimpses of brilliance in Sim AI, something that I really think will soon also start showing up in the N8Ns, etc. But I think it lacks a lot. I think it's a little bit overhyped. And this is what we saw from today's video. The best part of it, Manny, is that it's free. Yeah, that is absolutely brilliant.
It's open source, and obviously not everyone's put the brains together to master everything else to go with it. And
yeah,
the lack of funds to scale it up to a different level.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest weaknesses that it has right now is that it's really good on paper, but it doesn't really translate as good when you actually start using it. For example, he was using today, and this is something me and him spoke about with Julian. He was using the Copilot to build out a couple of use cases, and almost all of them, I don't want to say flopped, but didn't get you to the point where you want to be. Whereas with N8N, if you actually put in place something, especially if it's a template or I've shown you guys how to do it, you know it's going to work. So I like Sim AI. I'm not fully bought in yet. I usually try to lessen the hype. So I do apologize if I poop on your parades. But specifically with Sim AI, I like it. I just think that it will push some of these other tools that exist to maybe start incorporating agentic workflow assistance within their platforms. I would love to see N8N come up with a similar thing to Copilot like I has, where you can talk to the chat and it builds it out for you. I think that would be revolutionary. I think that would be the best thing we could see. Did you manage to play around with it, Manny, with Sim AI at all?
Not literally. I just watched the video and then carrying on with my work and then jumped on this call. So I haven't did that, in all honesty.
You can watch today's live stream. It'll probably get chopped up into a video as well. So maybe hold off on that. But I would say that it's not all the hype that we thought it might have been. It's good, but I wouldn't waste my time with it if you already have things built on for now. It's going to be free, at least for the foreseeable future, because it is open source.
I'll definitely take your advice on that one. Thank you.
No worries. One of the biggest things that I'm a firm believer of is we get over flooded with a little bit too much information. And I think that if we try to do too many things at once and they start failing, we just get super demotivated, right? And then you get bummed out and then you don't do anything that you're supposed to do or achieve. Honest to God, I would say just focus on the things that are working right now. And we're going to talk about basically the 6-week masterclass. It's coming to an end this week. What is up next from me personally as one of the coaches or the co-founder of the App Profit Boardroom? What I think I will start building for you guys next. And you guys can give me some feedback on if you think that would be valuable. So that is basically where my thoughts lie. Like, it's good to try and use new tools, but don't go ballistic. Don't drop everything. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. But anyways, guys, welcome again, Arnett. Welcome. I think I already said it to you, Christopher. I know I did actually, for a matter of fact, and thank you for that nice message in the chat. We also got Derek joining us. Welcome, Derek. I do believe it's your first time here, Derek, right? Apologies to call you out as soon as you joined, but everyone else is a standard member. But how you doing, Derek? If you can talk, don't worry about it, by the way. No pressure. We're just going to carry on as is. So guys, talk to me. What have you been building outside of Sim AI? What is something else you've been doing recently? What are some use cases if you have any on your side? If not, I can just go into presenter mode. That's all good with me.
Yeah, I'm just getting back after my holidays and stuff, and I'm just picking up the pieces. So the intent is to pick up where I left off.
Nice.
I'm going to be doing more videos with HeyGen, and then I've also got refined my avatar, so I have to reshoot that. And then in terms of the process, the research is done in Perplexity,
Nice.
and then I just transfer the actual script into Claude,
Yeah.
and then shoot the video, then take the script into HeyGen, and then from HeyGen back into Descript where I construct everything. And yeah, I've just got to keep consistently pumping those out. And I've also been looking over your course as well,
Nice.
because I feel as though that was a great introductory to automation, and I could see the bigger picture, but still need to devote a bit more time with the automation. But I'm just happy that I've got NAA running locally.
Nice.
And plus I've worked out a way where I can update it on a regular basis because the updates are quite frequent.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where I am in a nutshell.
Nice. Sonny, first and foremost, welcome back from vacation. Hope you recharged fully. Hope everything, is going well. I do want to see more of your YouTube videos, so keep on sharing in the community. I made it like a passion of mine to actually watch every single video you drop. I really like them, so keep doing that. When you say refine your HeyGen, just to dial it a little bit back, do you want to add more images or videos of you talking about stuff, or what's the idea there?
Yeah, it's basically how I present myself, because the existing HeyGen avatar that I've got, I have numerous shots of me adjusting my glasses, and it just looks really, yeah. So it's those sort of quirky things that I want to get rid of.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pump them out. And
I want to give you one small bit of advice that I now understand a little bit more by also tweaking some of the avatars that we have, or I even made for the week 5. One thing that I noticed is if you do not have a word recorded, but your avatar is trying to say it because of your script. For example, how often are you going to say Jason when you're trying to record your avatar, right? You're probably never going to say it. What it does is it isolates the letters JSON, and that's why it sounds so freaky and so bad, basically, when you start recording a HeyGen avatar video. One little advice for all of you guys here that are trying to do avatar videos, or specifically for you, Sunny, because I know you're doing them, make sure to say as many unconventional words that you're going to be recording stuff about. And then if you notice that in one of the videos you create, a word sounds funky or weird, just record a clip of you saying a few sentences with that word, so that then it can use that type of pronunciation. Does that make sense? You might have known this already, but I'm just trying to give you some advice here.
No, that is refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
There was an instance where, like HeyGen, it was the word read. So as opposed to READ, like you're better off putting just REED into the script. And then, it's flowed a lot better. And somebody from the community actually told me to do that. I can't remember who it was, but thank you for that.
No, of course. I would say like any word that you think you're going to be using for a script and you want to make sure that the HeyGen avatar says correctly, make sure to just record something for the HeyGen avatar, plug it in there, and then it's going to know how to say it. So that is a very big plus. If you are using voice from 11 Labs, you might need to also do that there. If you're just using HeyGen's voice, which kind of is okay nowadays, you can just do it on HeyGen's part. But just a heads up on how you can navigate that. And then you also mentioned in terms of the updates on, and if it's something that you haven't seen in the community, feel free to share. I would love to actually learn from you what you mean when you say, I found an easy way to update them regularly.
Yes. Basically, it's the way I've been doing it. If you, like, obviously everything's set up in like Docker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is an AI called Gordon. I believe it is. Ask Gordon, and that is the beta version. So all I've done is ask Gordon, what is the best way to update
I see it, yeah.
like locally, and it tells you. Whereas previously, it was a real headache.
Yeah.
Just ask Gordon, and he shows you what to do.
That's pretty cool. Maybe Julian knows of this. This is the first time I hear of Ask Gordon. So that's pretty cool. I found it on Docker as well. So I just shared it there in the chat. Might play around with this to see if I can help you guys out with anything related to this. That's awesome, Sunny. That's awesome. Love everything. Welcome back. Good to have you back. If there's anything that I can help with, feel free to ask away, raise your hand, or basically good luck with refining the digital avatar, and hope it brings you a lot of success, man.
Okay.
Manny, you raise your hand. What's up? How can I help?
Sorry, Rick. So do you know what? I've come across a video which you did. I'm trying to find it. Basically, I think he was with about 5 gentlemen, and one of them was from Saudi Arabia. He wanted to create where is that video? Because I can't see. I was watching it and then I had to do something else. You helped out with a number of people with different kind of things which piqued my interest.
It was just the Monday session. So from now on, guys, I'll be hosting the Monday sessions as well as the Wednesday ones. So Monday's live session was basically it was just an open session, just like this one, but instead of Jeff, I overtook it now. So every Monday and Wednesday, you can find me on these calls. Wednesday, we do it around basically more catered towards CET, early EST, and incredibly early PST. But the Monday sessions are going to be a little bit later, so that they cater more to PST and EST times. But a lot of CET people or even BST, if you're in the UK, can join us. So it's that one. I just sent it in there.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. My pleasure. Okay, I saw, Victor, you said, so far, I'm loving GenSpark AI. It may fully replace the paid versions of ChatGPT and Claude I'm currently using. I wanted to say this to Sunny a minute ago when he was telling me about using Perplexity and then using Claude. A lot of people, one thing I want to push people on is to figure out if they can use a singular tool instead of multiple subscriptions, because that really does scale in terms of saving. And plus, it really helps you contain and maintain where your focus is and what your kind of, let's say, workload is. For me personally, I think I'm still subscribed to a lot of tools, but I don't think I've opened Perplexity in months now. I don't think I've opened Claude in a very long time outside of just testing some projects. I haven't opened Grok, Manus, DeepSeek outside of just having to test like a new update or something with Julian. So on a daily basis, I really do only use ChatGPT, GenSpark, and then of course, N8N, you have to use that. So to me, GenSpark is just such a holistic tool. I can do insanely a lot of things in there. Like it's just insane to me. So Victor, what are some of the use cases that you started using it for?
Okay, but first a question.
Go for it.
GenSpark claims they subscribe to 9 popular AI platforms.
It's all good. Don't worry.
Hold on, but I'm going to come back in a minute.
No worries. No worries. Don't worry about it. Meanwhile, welcome, Alex. I'm not sure if this is your first time here, but it's very nice to have you. If you are okay to unmute and give us a little intro, feel free. I always try to welcome every new member just so that they can feel welcomed, appreciated. And I would love to hear from you, Alex. How's Alex? Who's Alex? What is Alex working on, etc.?
Yes, just 1 second, please.
No stress, no stress. All good.
All right. Yeah, nice to meet you. Yes, it's my first time here. Yeah, my name is Alex. I'm from Italy, and I actually work full-time as a self-publisher.
Nice.
I publish my nonfiction books on Amazon KDP, and yeah, I wrote a couple of posts already in the group.
Okay.
My main goal with this group is to automate as much as possible, but really the thing that is keeping me up at night, let's say, is the reliance of my income to Amazon. So I want to diversify my traffic source.
Okay.
So I'm trying to understand what is the next move in order to gain some traffic from outside Amazon and being profitable. I was thinking to start like e-learning sort of company, let's say, and expanding on my brand. Yeah.
Okay. So first and foremost, welcome, Alex. Love that you're here. Best of luck on your journey. Very nice to meet you. I can only say 3 things in Italian, which is like ciao, Alex, Ami, and that's about it. But hey, at least I know something. For your specific, let's say, use cases and what you're thinking about using, are you currently using AI in any way, shape, fashion in your day-to-day?
Yes, actually, I have a couple of automation, and yeah, like 90% of my content right now is written by AI, and then I give the draft to an editor.
Nice. So I agree with you that a human is, to this day, and I think this will remain true for maybe at least another 6 months, maybe even more. Humans doing certain tasks will always be better, specifically when it comes to tasks that require a lot more context and or understanding of certain things, why they mesh, why they will work well together. But, and this is a big but, in a lot of cases, the quality can be brought quite close to human produced quality, yet the quantity and the standardized output can be vastly improved by using AI. So this is one of the things where consistency and continuous improvement and kind of investing in it might show as a lot more positive in the long run. You said that you work a lot with content. One thing that I can tell you is from the SEO side of things, from the SEO side of the agency, that it used to be very looked down upon when you would write AI content. Nowadays, AI content is actually, in a way, mandatory if you want to consistently do stuff, unless you have human editors or human writers or whatever it may be, right? So I would challenge you, Alex, to try and figure out, okay, you might not be happy with the content output, but there are ways where you can utilize AI that would not, let's say, infringe on the quality. For example, you can create topical clusters. You can create a lot of research on what ideas, let's say, your content writer or you yourself want to write about, right? Or even better yet, you can use AI to do the outlines for the blog posts. This way, you never need to think about the outline. You never need to spend, let's say, 15, 20, 30 minutes, however long it takes you, coming up with a structure. Instead, that is pre-done for you, and you just take it as the next step, okay? I'm just going to refine it and make it better. So I do hear you, and I agree with you wholeheartedly in terms of human quality is still a lot better than AI in many cases. But if you can figure out how to fine-tune and bring that AI quality close to the human, the consistency and the standardized output, which means no mistakes, right? No forgetting, stuff like this, that's going to take it over. That's the point where you're at the pinnacle.
Yeah. I agree. And I am noticing like a complete different outcome since I started to like trying to optimize my prompt, understand the limitation of LLMs. And also one of the biggest improvement in quality has come when I started to
Compartmentalize?
the output and the goal into multiple different
Okay.
AI. Like one is generating the draft, another one is doing the editing, another one is doing the fact checking, another one is doing another task. And then at the end, you have something that is workable, let's say.
I agree with you, Alex. I agree with you. Let me get to some of the people in the community that have posted some questions here, but very nice to meet you. I want to get back to you because I do have some suggestions on maybe some pieces of automation that you can take a look at, or even some AI tools that you can use. Very nice to meet you. Welcome to the community.
Thank you
I'm
so
going to
much.
go first with Victor. I guess you're on a call. Feel free to raise your hand or drop a note when you're back. I'm going to start with Arnett real quick. Arnett, I saw your post on the Google thing. Haven't had a chance to actually read it. I know you posted it a couple of hours ago, maybe 2, 3. I'm very curious to actually go through it to understand a little bit better. But let's read your TLDR here really quickly. So Google's just ordered to share its search data. No more exclusive contracts like the one with Apple for default spots, but they get to keep Chrome. Could mean a potential AI innovation boost as competitors snack query data to build better tools. Google's crying privacy foul while dominating 90% of searches. Appeals ahead, but it cracks their monopoly a bit. I really want to read the article. I'm actually going to share the article here with everyone. I think this is pretty big news, to be honest with you guys. I definitely recommend, if you have time, drop Arnett a little read on this article, but pretty big. Victor, you're back. Go.
Yeah, just heard on the news this morning that Apple pays Google $20 billion a year to be the default search engine on Apple devices, which blew my mind. Okay, we're talking about Claude. The reason I use Claude is because it is presented as a privacy-first AI tool, and they've sent out some info lately saying we can give you the option to like not have it be as private, which is not appealing to me since I do try as best I can to avoid any of the Chinese AI tools. And so like what question that I started to ask back to you was on GenSpark, they claim they integrate 9 tools plus 80 of their own internal ones. And I'm wondering if any of those 9 are the Chinese AI tools. I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet. That would give me pause.
Honestly, I'm quite confident they're probably using at least 1 or 2 Chinese tools. I was assuming that you were going to head that way, not specifically Chinese, but I was assuming you might ask me which are the 9 that they use. I don't have the answer for you right now, but I will figure that out because I think it's valuable for us to know. I know for a fact that they do use ChatGPT. I know for a fact they use Claude. I know for a fact they use Perplexity. No idea what the other ones are. Okay, I would lie to you if I said I did. Once I have a little bit more understanding and knowledge, I'll let you know. I do also know that a lot of the Chinese AIs, early doors, they were just wrappers. For example, DeepSeek was a very big Claude wrapper with a lot of more freedom and open source, et cetera, et cetera. So once I know a little bit more, Victor, and once I can tell you what the exact tools are, I'll come back to you. And last note on this is, I think we are maybe waking up a little bit too late, I would even say, thinking about privacy. A lot of us have been very lenient or even forgetful to think, hey, what is AI doing with everything I'm typing inside of it? Because I know for a fact, a lot of my friends have even typed their full, for example, bank accounts with PIN codes and everything like this to try and create like a memory database. I've always told them, like, I understand, but please don't, like, we are not there yet to trust. I trust AI, but even that is too much for me. I think when I was mentioning earlier, when I said, and I'll tie into Christopher shortly, Victor, after we finish with you, every single one of these tools that we mentioned, Perplexity, Claude, ChatGPT, Notebook LM, Gemini, whatever you might be using, they're really good. I'm just saying a lot of the people in this community are going to be thinking about, okay, how can I cut costs? And how can I figure out that singular tool that is going to do a multitude of these, let's say, tasks that I'm now subscribed to 4 different outlets for? And this is why I say, so far, I have found GenSpark to be the best. Now, if I look at specific use cases, or if we even talk about, let's say, my comfort zone is a lot more oriented towards ChatGPT than it is GenSpark. And for example, for others, it might be Claude, et cetera. It's just, I'm trying to say to you guys that if you're looking to save that buck and reinvest it somewhere, or you would rather, I don't know, work on your SaaS and vibe code stuff, that is where I would put those $20 that I'm putting currently in an AI tool I might not be utilizing. And I would just focus on one that can solve multiple cases. That is the only reason I was talking about that. But carry on, Victor. Sorry for diluting the conversation.
No, you asked me about use cases, and maybe I'm a little bit of a duck out of the water here in this group because I'm primarily an AI tool user rather than a tool creator. And it really just comes down for me, because I'm busy with 2 companies right now of build versus buy. And for right now, I can't like just chip myself off and work for days on building an automation. I want to understand it. That's why I'm here. And sometimes, a lot of time my camera's off because I'm like multitasking, but I'm trying to pick up as much as I can through osmosis and listening, really understanding what it's all about and just trying to keep current. When I'm on like Dr. Jeff's sessions, it's a fire hose drink for me, but I know how important it is. And so that's my motivation, but I'm always on the hunt for tools that are going to make me more productive and so forth.
Just one final note on that. I think the fact that even myself, even Julian, whoever it may be, continuously try to figure out more things and more tools. We're all like the ducks you were mentioning, Victor. Like all of us are trying to learn. It's so much out there right now. And it doesn't matter whether you're an AI tool creator, user, AI agent user, whatever it may be. The fact is there's always something to learn. And I personally also attend specific sessions like Q&As like this one, always with my camera off in a different group. They're called the 8-Figure Boardroom, just because I really want to learn and improve. I don't have the capacity or the time to ask many of these questions, but just being there, like you said, by osmosis or proximity, or basically just listening in, you create a lot more knowledge and kind of awareness. 2 cents there. But I think you guys are far more advanced than you realize. And I think once you start going out there and communicating with peers, you're going to realize how little they know about AI compared to what simply by continuously doing stuff. I don't know. I think that's a fact.
Yeah. It's funny, like in real life, when you're like queuing up for something and it's a long line and you're looking down the line ahead of you and you're like, I'm so far back on the line. But then you turn around and you see all the people behind you. It makes you feel so much better.
Yes.
At least I'm here. Okay.
Anyway. I love that, Victor. I love that. That's a great one. Okay, let's go to Christopher.
Thank you.
Christopher, yes. But let's speak on the topic of what Claude has been mothballed for you. I have spent a considerable amount of time in Claude, but zero in GenSpark. I have some success with Claude, creating and updating N8N workflows, and recently building a personal RAG knowledge base. Now, Christopher, I'm going to let you speak a little bit more on this. I actually love Claude. I just don't use it enough nowadays because a lot of different tools I have cover my use cases. I do think that a very big point in which you mentioned there, which is very good, I do think Claude is a lot better than ChatGPT or Gemini when it comes specifically, even if you've built a project to help you with and workflows. And here is a little sneak peek about tomorrow's session. Tomorrow's session is with a new coach, and he will specifically be talking about regarding a Claude project that he has created, which helps him draft N8N templates from zero to finish. So I love that you gave this preface to it, Christopher. You did the prelude, but I would love to hear a little bit more. Maybe you have a more in-depth question, etc.
I joined this group back in June, and I had a number of travel planned that I was able to just get through. So now over the last, let's say 2 weeks, I've really been just doing deep dives.
Nice.
And it's anticipation of a client that I begin work with next week. It categorically, I can't speak to the company name, but it's a AI fintech SaaS platform company.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of operational improvements that I need to make, but one of the tips of the spear is really sales and marketing. They've got an awareness problem. So in anticipation that I built an innate workflow that also has a component that's Apple script, because I'm running a Mac. I wrote an Apple script that controls Safari. So it spawns Safari, it goes out, captures hundreds of competitive adverts, display adverts, downloads them locally with the original file name. And I was going to build some automation that actually migrates them through the Google Drive.
Okay.
But I just manually copy them up to a Google Drive. And then I've got an N8N workflow that goes and builds out a Google sheet that lists the advert, its name, its style, and then goes through an analysis to say, okay, what's the calls to action? What's the messaging? What's the tone, tenor, style? And then summarizes that in a report. And then it goes across a bunch of competitors. And then it creates a kind of a universal summary. So it took me a little bit longer to build. It took me about, 10 hours non-contiguously to build. And as I said, it was probably something that I didn't expect it was take that long, but also at the same time, I'm happy with where it is. And I've taken probably another hour and a half to refactor it so that it can be more universal. So if I had to share it with anyone, I could. As I said, I'm having success with Claude. I have run into limits, which was frustrating because I didn't know how to continue one chat that maxed out into another one. But also, I just want to make sure that I'm as adopting tools. I Googled this term. I haven't seen it anywhere. I may have been the one to coin it, but I call it like whack-a-model. You've all heard of whack-a-mole, but whack-a-model is, I'll put it in here, whack-model, because we're all in this world where we're just seeing these tools come up. They're given birth. We don't know if they're fronts or wrappers for something else, but I think I'm at a point right now where I also don't want perfection to get in the way of good enough. I want to make sure that I'm dedicating time and tool that at least is that I can live with for some period of time. Whether it be, there might be another one or a better one, that's fine, but I don't want to keep jumping from one tool to the next, because after a certain point, despite just the cost of it, it's also just you make an investment in terms of how it works.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where I am. And that was my question as I was hearing both you, Vic, and you, Victor, talk about using it. If anyone wants to see what I've done, I'm glad to share it. But I have another category of topics. I'm seeing a lot more about N8N kind of building workflows, and then is it pronounced LangChain? So just want to understand where that path might lead either this group or just individuals. I'm certainly interested in knowing, okay, is there a terminus to the workflows and building, and then there's something better than that?
All of this, Christopher. That's so good. First and foremost, amazing of you to build what you just said you've built. That is so much more than a lot of people will achieve, basically because you set out there to go for it, build it out. I would love to see what you've built. I know that the community would have as well. Now, keep in mind that if it's proprietary or if you need to turn some things off because of your clients, feel free. Not asking for any of that. It's just, I think it's amazing. So that's where I start. Now, secondly, on the topic or the ideology of, I started with this tool, will this tool remain to where I don't need to switch, not only for comfort, like we were saying, but also for the time investment and how much you've actually built in that ecosystem, right? Because Claude right now is your ecosystem for how you've refined. It's completely fine and normal to stay in there. I just try to give options which might fulfill more use cases than what one tool might. And that is why I speak so highly of GenSpark. It's because of how many use cases I can cover with that one tool versus how many I can do, for example, just with ChatGPT or just Claude or just Perplexity. Now, on the flip side of it, if you are loving what you're doing and you've created something that you're continuously upgrading and working on, no need to switch from it, right? It might be good for you to expand your portfolio, add another tool towards what you're using to make sure that you're refining and you're using additional sources of information. Completely fine to stick with Claude. I think Claude is here to stay. As far as I know, Anthropic is pretty stable. They're doing pretty well. All of their models are usually very good coders and very good writers. So for the most part, I think you're perfectly fine, Christopher. So I hope this sheds a little bit more light. But when it comes to what you've built, I would love to see it, honestly.
Yeah, thank you. Can you quickly share my screen?
Go for it.
I won't be in a here. Hold on.
Another thing I would say is GenSpark also had unlimited chat with LLMs until December. It's very good because you can try every kind of LLM, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and they have other, and it's all included in one subscription. So it's very good.
Okay. Let's take a look at this here, what you've done.
Yeah. And again, all this was kind of base written by Claude and then continually iterated to get to a kind of a working version. As I said, I would share my desktop because that's where so again, there's two parts to it. There's an Apple script because I connected Claude through both N8N. I think that, I guess, using NCP server, set it up through terminal, but that's a piece I can't show, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I could show the prompt of it if you needed, but I think just simply, so what it does is it allows me to set competitors, or I should back up the whole script. What it does is it prompts me for the name of the company that I want to search for. So I type that in and I iterated that a number of times as well, because regular expressions or syntax of the name. So it goes out and searches. It finds display ads. It tells me how many it finds, and it tells me how many would it like me to download. I give it a number, and then it just literally, it spawns Safari, it opens tab, grabs the image, saves the image in its native file format and name, which I think is super important. And then it closes the tab, opens the next tab, and just continues to iterate through that. And I just have this local directory of all the images. Oh, and the other thing too that I set up to the Apple script is I told it where I want those images stored. I don't want it just stored on the desktop. I want it stored in this directory structure. So then what I did is I copied those images up to a Google Drive, and then I run this workflow, which basically just goes and iterates through the different directories and gets the images. I put rate limiting in because I didn't want it to spend all my credit going through it. So I tried to rate limit that, but it analyzes the images and then updates a Google Sheet. And then it generates the individual summary for the competitor. And then it creates the master summary report. So it's very simple. It's very effective.
And you solve the pain, man. It doesn't matter if it's simple or not. You solve the pain. It took you hours. You didn't do it sleeping. So that's great. I really like it. So that's an awesome one, Christopher. And thank you for sharing. I think you might have inspired me on something that I can do for week 6 now. I'll have a think about it, but good stuff. Congratulations there, man.
Thank you.
No worries. There's a lot in chat. So let me get through everything. Before I jump into the next one in chat, which is Manny, I really quickly wanted to say welcome, Matt, Sarita, and Alan. We've been just very much into this conversation, so I didn't get to say hi to you guys. Hope you guys are good. Alan, if it's your first time, I'll get to you shortly. I just want to get through chat first because we did have a couple of things. So Manny said, is there any videos of Pinecone in the classroom where we can learn more on this as to how we can get the best out of vector database and extracting the best tidbits for scaling in your own production with your own business? Now, to be very honest with you, I don't think there's anything there. Me and Julian have been speaking about Pinecone, but we've not done anything, I think. I'm actually even trying to see now if Julian has done a video on it. As far as I know, I don't think so.
Because I've come across, do you know, like with Christopher, I was talking about drag knowledge.
Yes.
When can break down and help. It's like a secretary. You could create like a secretary or something like that to get all the information which is relevant. I just don't know much about it, but I would like to know more about it as well.
Okay, this is good. Manny, on your note, last week, I think you told me that you were interested in something like a Telegram bot. I think You did. I went and built that for you in the week 5 of the 6-week masterclass. Now, it might not be the ideal thing that you had in mind, but I wanted to put the, let's say, the knowledge out there so that you can start iterating on it. Or maybe you can come to me and be like, Vic, this is good. I want to also do XYZ. So when it comes to
not clear. Yes, I will be harassing you if that's okay.
please feel free.
All right.
So in terms of Pinecone, I'll have a think on how I can include it in some of the lessons, or when we get to the end, I'll take 2 minutes to explain of what's to come in the iProfit boardroom, because the 6-week masterclass is ending this week, but we have something more for you. So keep a lookout for Pinecone, okay? I did it for Telegram. I'll do it for you for Pinecone as well.
Yeah, because I wanted to integrate something like that. So within there, you've got the whole knowledge base, which is whatever the business has, literally siphon through and get the right information to the person who's asking the questions as well.
Yes.
Telegram or WhatsApp or whatnot. Yeah, thank you.
No worries. All right, let's see. Sunny said, what are the AI tools you recommend? My 2 cents on the topic. I would say that not every tool there is currently maybe up to date. We don't use the Leonardo AI as much now as we did. We have been trying to use Banana, whatever, to see what we can do through Gemini. But that is just one little caveat. And for Zapier, again, we don't use Zapier as much as we have in the past. Nowadays, almost all of the automations that exist are either through N8N or GHL. It really depends what kind of an automation it is. We do abuse a lot, though, specifically for CRM, outreach, and things like this. Let's see. There was one more thing, I think. I agree with Arnett, by the way, Christopher. I think that like an article or a notebook column post or Wacom model is really good. You can coin that. Right.
Hey, I have a URL that I could post. I did find an article that talked about RAG and kind of building what you did. It's by a guy named Pavel Hurin. He's a pretty accomplished product manager. I'll just say here's an article that I just referenced. I'll post this in here if it's of any help to anyone. I didn't get through all of it, but it specifically does talk about Pinecone.
Nice. That's pretty good. Loading it up now. I'll definitely take a look at this one. And thank you for sharing that with the community. Last question here, and then I'll jump to Alan to get to know him. Alex said, any tip on generating landing pages fast and maybe let AI fill the copy as well? Add Stripe, PayPal, order bumps, upsells, downsells, thank you pages, etc. I feel like Systemi.io or ClickFunnels are antiquated nowadays. Look, I think the answer I'm going to give you is something that the people that have been here are going to know that I preach a lot. But just one little clarification. When you say landing pages, I always think of it as a one-pager or a static page, because there you also mentioned multiple pages, right? You also said like maybe have, I don't know, a checkout page, an upsell page, a downsell page, a thank you page. So I think of it more as maybe like a holistic website or like a full website. But even if it's one pager and you're thinking about, like a sales funnel, I have built a couple that I've shown so far on some of our calls here, and I'll show you. I'm just loading them up here for you. I'll show you them. And you can tell me if this is something that you have in mind or if I'm fully off the rails, let's say. So 1 sec. Desktop 3. I'm just going to give it a sec for it to load. Alex, right? Yeah, Alex. Can you see my screen? You should be able to.
Yes, I can.
Okay, so this is, for example, a page I've built with AI. All the buttons work. A lot of things exist here that you can iterate. It's all HTML based. You can even ask it for stuff. Let me just remember where it was because I do a lot of stuff. We've already generated this where it gives you a little generated content email. If you're thinking about something like this, or are you thinking something other? I can show you another version of this, which is a little bit different, but basically with a demo page, when you click the demo, it takes you to show you what it does and what it's supposed to present. It also has a client page, billings. You can change down, like you were saying, upgrade, downgrade, stuff like this. Is this what you have in mind, Alex, or is it something different?
I was thinking more of a funnel, like a page where you send traffic through advertising, and then like with a checkout page, and then like a classic sales funnel for selling products.
You want to build.
So this is more for a SaaS, I think.
Yes, those were SaaS based.
Yeah.
But I was just asking you if that is like what you have in mind, where you write out a prompt and you get a one pager, or were you thinking about building it maybe through drag and drop stuff? What did you have in mind? Prompting. Okay. So I built both of those on GenSpark, the two I showed you. You can always try to build something else. maybe I can just create a short loom on how a landing page would look like. Secondary, what I can say is we've built a lot of funnels, sales funnels specifically on GHL. So if I'm trying to load here to show you what it looks like. So let me see if I can find one, please. But for GenSpark, I'll definitely just record like a little loom for you so that you can see what it looks like. Let's see, is this one? No, this. Trying to find one on GHL that I can show you that is a little bit more up to date that we've built recently.
Because I'm trying to build a landing page to, as I said, trying to sell and diversify my income and bring in traffic through advertising. But ClickFunnels is a little bit expensive, at least because it's a test. So I want some proof before investing in something like that. And System.io, it's drag and drop. It takes quite a while. And I don't know, when I touch this thing, the design feels off, not professional. So I said to myself, there has to be a faster way today.
Yeah. Can you, for example, let's do the prompt together before we wrap up this call. What would you like the prompt to be like? Let's say, build me a sales funnel page for my, what kind of a business will we say it is?
It's a low ticket digital product. It's XM brand.
Low ticket digital product.
Yes.
So build me a sales funnel page for my low ticket digital product. And what would you want it to contain? Contain upsells, downsells, I don't know, thank you page. What are you thinking about here?
Yes, I was thinking about a bump order, upsell 1, upsell 2, thank you page, and Stripe or PayPal or both.
Check out with Stripe or PayPal. Okay. I've written this down. So please expect the loom maybe in half an hour to an hour, because I do have a call right after this Q&A, and we'll see how it works for you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
No, of course. I want to see if I can help you with that. Okay. Before I go into telling you guys what's to come in the Profit Boardroom, once the 6-week masterclass finishes, I just want to say welcome to Alan. Alan, I do believe this is your first time on our calls. What I do usually when people join the first time, I ask them to introduce themselves to us. If you're shy or if you're unable to talk, Derek was a little bit ago before he left. Don't stress about it. But otherwise, give us a little intro. Who's Alan? What is Alan working on? And how are you using AI? I'll give you 5 seconds. Speed is king. Oh, I can see a face. All we need now is the mic. Furthest on the left should be your, oh, there we go. Here. Yeah, let's go, Alan. Welcome, welcome.
Hello. My name is Alan. I'm very new to this.
Nice.
Quite interested in what I have in 2 things. One is I would like to, what I'm working on, like conceptually, is how to make a content generator that can create consistent characters. That's one thing. And then the other thing is I was trying to work with the VO3 model with the Sasquatch. To a lot of issues with figuring out how to use it. I kept getting like the undefined message when it came to the VO3 node. But other than that, I think it's been smooth.
Okay. Alan, welcome to the group. It doesn't matter how early on you are. At least you're here. That's all that matters. So look, for the Yeti vlogger, right? I would recommend just doing a little loom for me and sending it in DMs so that I can help you, because otherwise I can't really know why the undefined happens, right? So I just need, if I can get my eyes on it, send me a little loom or a recording. My name is Victorian in the community, by the way, guys. A lot of people sometimes ask me, I tried to find you, but I couldn't. So here's my direct link basically to the school so that you can message me. So that's first. And secondly, when you were talking about the content at the beginning, I didn't quite hear, you also have a problem with one of the content creators you said? Oh, all right. Drop me a DM then, and let's see what we can do for you. Once I know how or what you're encountering, we can fix them and we can make sure that you're enjoying your time here. Is that good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you, Alan. Is it straightforward to connect and host a domain using GenSpark? No, but in GenSpark, you get the HTML when you create or ask it for a landing page or a website or whatever it may be. And you can actually use that HTML to later either publish it or figure out what you want to do it. There is a way to actually publish pages with GenSpark. However, they have now made almost all pages to be privated, and it only works if you have an old chat with GenSpark where you can just rinse what happened before. So for example, if I give you this one, if you click it, it should work for you guys. But yeah, it's just only very old chats that currently can deploy pages to live. All right, team, it's been awesome. Let me give you a quick snippet of what's to come, kind of information. Tomorrow, we will be piloting a new coach called Jimmy. Jimmy will be talking a lot about Claude and N8N. So if that is of interest of you, make sure to tune in. If you don't have time or you can't make the call, all of the calls are recorded. You can find them in the classroom. So that one will also be recorded. Secondly, the 6-week masterclass is ending this week with me doing the finale, basically like going over some of the things we've spoken about, as well as some final tidbits that I think are very important for you guys to know in terms of AI automation, etc. Afterwards, once this wraps up, starting next week, I will be beginning a new project, which will be basically called Learn with Vic. And every week I will be posting 2 to 3 videos of me doing either N8N connection, basically from A to Z, showing you guys not only the templates, but what the product is and how to connect it really step by step at home. And outside of that, also teaching you guys on latest, for example, tools that I'm using, how I'm using them, what are the use cases I'm looking to solve. And we will always be taking questions from these classrooms, like the Q&As, like the coaching sessions, etc. And I will actually be trying to build out stuff for you there. So for example, like Manny said, how can I use Telegram? How can I use Pinecone? I will actually be taking this feedback and putting it in that classroom so that not only one person benefits, but actually, hopefully, the entire group does. I've been Vic. It's been amazing having you here today, guys. Thank you so much for another amazing session. And I'll see you guys later in the Profit Boardroom and tomorrow on Jimmy's session. All the best, everyone. Bye-bye.